Cracking show coming up, and welcome back to South Africa, David Shapiro, who's going to be taking us through some insights on the market. Dave, you're a world traveller. It's nothing unusual for you, but lovely to be home, I'm sure.
Yes, it is. It's always, especially now that we're going into summer, just having come out of the US where they're going into fall, autumn, as they say. It's starting to get colder, but also nice and relaxed to be here and trying to catch up, Alec. Quick catch-up course on what's been happening here. You know, I've been just subjected to election, and all other issues that are happening in America at the moment.
So, David, there's a heck of a lot of reporting coming through this week. It's amazing, isn't it, that we are in the middle of this US reporting season, and it's actually so important to us here in South Africa.
Oh, yeah. Look, you know, Alec, I did a lot of soul-searching and where should we be? What should we do? But what really captured me, talking to people. Remember, I was there for the Jewish holiday, so I met a lot of people. We were there at Seder's and big crowds, and talking to them and getting a feel for what they're doing and what their sentiments are. And particularly when it comes to the election, we can talk about that. But generally, I find the US still pumping. I think that it just remains an incredibly dynamic economy, and it's the competition amongst these people that just kind of keeps businesses on their toes. You can't slacken. If you're in America and you're running a business, and I think that's what makes it dynamic, and that's why you can't ignore it, and it creates a very high benchmark for everybody else. And I think America is still growing pretty reasonably. I think they're the only economy that is above where it was kind of pre-COVID. So that's why I'm saying it's very important. And the companies that you mentioned, the companies that were mentioned in the headlines, are still very much part of our lives here, in South Africa. So we have to keep an eye on what the economy is doing. India's big, China's big, but in terms of population and in terms of GDP per capita, they can't match the output of America. So it's very important for us, to keep an eye on what's happening there.
Yeah, no, we're close. 26%. The United States is still by far the dominant. Elon Musk, David, he's just on it, isn't he? Eh?
All over. And you have to think of his motives. This is why has he come out so wildly in favor of Trump. Trump, first of all, Trump's favorite word, as we know, is tariffs. And of course that favors Tesla because his biggest share of the Chinese competitors with EV. And then he needs government as well. So he's taking a big bet on Trump coming in. I don't know what happens if Trump doesn't come in, because I'm not sure Kamala will be, warm to Elon if she manages to cross the line. But I think there's a lot of business motivation behind, what he's doing, the fact that he's coming out so much in favor. But why Pennsylvania, Alec? I think it just comes down to those swing states. It's a nation divided, and I think it's those 7 odd swing states that are going to decide who becomes the next president. So it's very important with Pennsylvania, where he gave their money away. One of the most important of those, of those states.
It's extraordinary how it's coming down to that. It's on a knife edge. We have a piece on BizNews this morning from our partners at the Financial Times, where there was an interview with Musk who says, well, basically, if Donald Trump loses, I'm F beep beep beep. So he knows exactly what he's doing. We're going to talk to Sai this week, Sai Jacobs, Sai from 361.
Of course I know.
At the last BizNews conference, he said his big short, in other words, the stock that he thinks is going to fall the most, is Tesla. So he's going to talk to us when the Tesla results are out. I don't know. There's such a groundswell behind Elon. The side going short is playing a game, a dangerous game.
Very much so. It's there's certain stocks that you don't go short, because this can swing around. This can turn very, very fast. And look, he's a character. I mean, he's incredibly, I don't want to say a popular figure, but everybody knows Elon. I must say that from an election point of view, I think most people are absolutely exhausted by Trump. This is the third election that he's contesting. So you've had him from 2016, with all these outrageous claims, lies, corruption, and so on. And it's just interesting to get people's opinion on where they're voting. And I think if they vote for Kamala, she's not popular. Hey? She's not popular at all. But I think she's an antidote, against Trump and that. And she's an honest kind of person. She doesn't go crazy, or she doesn't cozy up to Putin or other dictators. So they see her as just something on the other side that will bring a bit of calmness to America. But a lot to talk about there, a lot to watch. And it's soon. This is coming very, very soon.
Yeah. 5th of November, is it? Just a couple of weeks from now.
Sure.
David, ASML, you were in the US, so yes. I didn't have the chance to talk to you. We've been following it in the last week. The market did not like the financial results from the company. It's in our portfolio, in lots of the portfolios of your clients as well. Are you seeing through it and perhaps seeing this as a buying opportunity?
I think so. I'm not one I don't like my ego to get in the way. But this is a superb business. It's the quality of the machines it's make is uncontested. It's a monopoly. There are not many businesses. And I think what I didn't realize and what caught us by surprise was, number one, the China story, how that's affecting them, and also the slowdown in demand for chips, that are not AI related. But I think if you listen to management, it will pick up. We might have to wait a bit. But I think at these levels, it's at a very attractive metrics, very attractive PE. And if there was something structurally wrong with the company, yes, I'd abandon it and say, okay, look for something else. But I think it's still a pivotal part in the manufacture of chips, and I think I think we're going into a very good period. I know, is it going to be another 25 points or not a 25-point rate cut, whatever it is. We are going to see ongoing rate cuts. We are going to see growth picking up, maybe not at the pace we want, but still in the right direction. And I think within time, the chips outside of AI, that sector will recover. And AI still remains a very big driving force of this market. So, it punished me. It's one of those results when it comes down, it was like just watching the football results over the weekend. You just sit there and say, please don't talk to me. Just leave me a bit to absorb this, to digest this. So I must admit, I sulked a lot when ASML's results came out, but I'm staying with it. It's been a very good performer over time. And I think performance will pick up again.
That's what investing's about. You understand the basis of your decision to buy into the shares, and when you do get a pullback like this one is over 20%, then it is, if you still believe the story, then it's still as the long-term story, then it's a buying opportunity. But David, more broadly in the United States, we know, and there have been ad nauseum reports coming out to say that the performance of the S&P 500 and the Dow have been because of a handful of big companies. They used to call it the Magnificent Seven. I'm not sure what they call them now, but there's all kinds of monikers that they give it. But if one looks broadly across the American economy, which is doing well, lower interest rates are going to help all companies, small and medium caps. That's the place we've put a bet on in the BizNews portfolio through the Russell 2000. Do you like that?
You're right. You're absolutely right. It is going to happen. The problem is that, and I think doing what you're doing is the only way to play it through an index. Because when I break down the Russell 2000, the 2,000 shares, it's very difficult to say, give me a couple of winners. So I think that from that point of view, you're right. Those companies that have lagged the Magnificent Seven and all those AI-related stocks are going to benefit. And I think it's the same here. When you look at the JSE and you break it down, you break down the JSE's performance. They have, other than Naspers and Process, which is benefiting significantly from the recovery in Tencent, but there've been some incredible performers in the small and medium cap area. And don't try to pick the winners out of the Russell 2000. Just take the index. I'm not a great index follower, but I think in this case, your bet is absolutely right.
And South African small and medium caps, would you go with someone like Piet Viljoen, who's been focusing his fund there, or would you be able to pick some eyes out?
No. I'm going with Piet and focusing on some of the smaller businesses that are just superbly run. You can't get liquidity. That's the difficulty with some of those businesses. But, if you look at an Outsurance, you look at the Bitcores, the Bitvest, the Afrimats of this world and so on. I'm just, randomly mentioning businesses on that. They're very, very well run. And our banks, Sanlam, I like where Sanlam's going. So I think you've got to be very picky. You can't go at the top end of the market with a British American Tobacco or ABN Bet or even some of the miners are still lagging a lot. We still got to. China's doing a lot. China came out this morning again with another stimulus measure. I think they're going to be slow, and one day they're all going to be stick together. We're going to suddenly see, recovery in our commodity markets. But I think the cherry picking in South African market is the way you're going to make money, and you'll do very well. The economy will recover. It will pick off that low base. And Alec, I have to mention when I came back and I saw the number of people flying into South Africa, there's not a flight that is not packed. The lines now to get through security are enormous. And as I was saying before we went on air, we better be prepared for a very big holiday season.
David Shapiro, South Africa's favorite stockbroker, bringing to a close this part of the program.